Good morning everyone, I am Priyanka Fulsundar, Assistant Professor IT Department. In my previous video, we discussed about relational model, course rule and legacy system. And in this video, we discuss about integrity constraint, or we can say that relational integrity. Topics are covered in this video like need of integrity constraint, what is the relational integrity, types of relational integrity and schema diagram. Now first we discuss need of integrity constraint. Integrity constraint rules are needed to inform the DBMS database management system about certain constraint in real world application. Many users enter data item in database become very important that the data item and association among them destroy. Data insertion, updating and deletion process have to be performed in such a way that data integrity is not affected. Because of this reason, we need integrity. Now we discuss what is relational integrity. Integrity constraint. It means integrity means in something like be right and consistent, and constraint means rule. The database must be right and in good condition. Okay, and in integrity constraint, mainly security and integrity of the database is the most important factor for the success of system. Integrity constraint is the mechanism to prevent invalid data entry into table and that maintain the data consistency. Okay, constraints are must used to enforce the range of data or type of data that can be inserted, updated, deleted from the table. The whole purpose of constraint is to maintain data integrity during the various transactions like update, delete, insert on the table. And integrity constraint is used to guard against accidental damage to the database. Now there are different types of constraint. That is, first one is domain integrity constraint, second one is entity integrity constraint, third one is referential integrity constraint, and fourth one is enterprise constraint. Now we will discuss one by one. First one is domain integrity constraint. It defines the domain or set of value for an attribute. Okay, domain integrity constraint is nothing but it is define the domain or set of value for an attribute. It specifies that the value taken by the attribute must be at atomic value from its domain. The domain constraints are considered as the most basic from the integrity constraint. To the attribute, a domain of value is to be associated. For attribute, it is defined the default value, the range value or specific value. For attribute, it defines default value, range value or specific value. The domain integrity constraints are easy to test when data is entered. When data is entered, it is easy to test. The domain integrity constraint check that whether the attribute having proper and right value in the database or not. And domain integrity means it is a collection of valid set of values for an attribute. Valid set of values for an attribute. There are different types of constraint included in domain integrity constraint, such as not null, unique, default and check. Now we will discuss one by one. Before that, first we discuss data type. A domain is a set of all unique values which are included for an attribute. Domain constraints are used or user defined data type. As we say that domain is the set of unique values, the column for which domain constraint has set constraint same type of data based on its data type. Okay, and the column does not accept value of any other data type. See in this first example, value A. This value A is not allowed since only integer values can be taken by the age attribute. Okay. Now we discuss not null constraint. Not null constraint is a column does not hold a null value. When for a specific column no value is provided while inserting a record into a table. By default, it takes null value. Null constraint is applied to avoid insertion of any null value in the specific column. See, in this example, student having name field with not null constraint. With this is not null constraint. It means not allow. Why it is not allow? Because we set name as not null constraint. Now next constraint type, that is unique constraint. In unique constraint, as the name suggests, it can take only unique value in a column or set of column. It keeps uniqueness of the table. It means that when a column has a unique constraint, then that particular column cannot have duplicated value in it. Okay. See, in this example, employee ID, name and salary. We can set the unique constraint for employee ID. We can set unique constraint for employee ID column in employee table. Each employee should have different employee ID, which means this column cannot have duplicated value. Okay. See, in this example, it is not allowed. Why it is not allowed? Because employee ID has unique constraint. Okay. Now the next constraint type, that is default constraint. When a user does not provide a value to the column while inserting the record into the table. When user does not provide value of that particular column while inserting the record in the table, the default constraint provide a default value to that particular column. For example, we can set default constraint by assigning the value 10,000 to the column exam fee in student table. Okay, so that if user does not give any value for that column, it takes the default value as 10,000. Okay, and next constraint, that is check constraint. This constraint is used to state user defined constraint for the column. It is used to state user defined constraint for that particular column as per the requirement of the business for which we are developing the applications. We may have to set some rules while inserting or updating data on that specific field. It is nothing but the check constraint. Next constraint type, that is entity integrity constraint. Under the entity integrity constraint, primary key is the main factor. Primary key is the main factor. Primary key uniquely identify each record in a table, and it must have unique value and cannot hold null values. For example, primary key is a combination of not null plus unique constraint. Always remember, primary key is a combination of not null plus unique constraint. For example, in this table, entity integrity constraint exactly were. Here we set primary key for student ID table. If we add any repeated value or null value in the column, it will show error. Why it will show error? Because primary key never contains null or repeated value. Okay, so this field says that primary key not contain null. Now next type of constraint, that is referential integrity constraint. In referential integrity constraint, the foreign key constraint included, or we can say that foreign key constraint is also known as referential integrity constraint. In this constraint, one field is common in between two tables. One field is column for two tables. Foreign key represent relationship between the table. There is a parent-child relationship between two tables having column commons. Okay, the master table can be referred as a parent while the transaction table is considered as a child. The common field will work as a primary key in a parent table while foreign key is in child table. For example, see in these two examples, considering training institute database having two tables, course detail and student. There is a condition that the student may register for courses which are available in institute currently and not for the courses which are not offered at that moment. To specify this rule, while inserting value into database foreign key contains, it is used as follows. Okay. See, in this both the table, the field course ID is common. Okay. In course detail, course code is referred as a primary key, and in student table it is referred as a foreign key. Course code it is referred as a primary key, and in student table it is referred as a foreign key. So after assigning foreign key constraint to student table, this student table, the record entry for few students will not accepted course code which is not available in the master table, that is course details. Okay. Now we discuss on delete cascade. If a record in a parent table is deleted, then the corresponding record in the child table will automatically deleted. It is nothing but the delete cascade. For example, see in this example, consider training institute database having two tables, that is course detail and student. There is a condition that the student can register for courses which are available in the institute currently and not for the courses which are not offered at that particular moment. To specify this rule, foreign key constraint is used. See in this both the table, the field course ID is common. In course detail, course code is preferred as a primary key, and in student table, it is referred as a foreign key. Now, if we try to delete any record from the master table, that is course detail, then it will show error. Why it will show error? Because to delete all corresponding record from the child table student. But in case of on delete cascade, rather than showing error, all corresponding record from child table student will get automatically deleted when record from parent table, that is course detail, is deleted. Now we discuss next types of constraint, that is enterprise constraint. What happens in enterprise constraint? It is also known as semantic constraint. They are additional rules to specify by user or database administrator. These rules are depending upon the requirements on constraint of the business for which the database system is being maintained. For example, in college system, a class can have a maximum of 30 students. Okay. A teacher can teach a maximum of 4 classes a semester, such that in corporate system an employee cannot take a part of more than 5 projects. Salary of an employee cannot exceed the salary of an employee's manager. Okay, this is the concept of enterprise constraint. Now next topic is that schema diagram. Schema is nothing but the design or structure of a database organization, or we can say that it is a graphical representation of different tables and their relationship which are based on various business rules. Okay. In schema diagram, the different table is designed with unique columns and special features. For example, primary key, foreign key, or not null, etc. The formats and symbol is used in schema diagram as standard, which does not create any confusion. The primary key lines are used to denote the relationship of different tables, and these primary key lines are joined with the child table corresponding to the foreign key. Now, this diagram or this schema diagram shows that the school management system. So in this video, we discuss about relational integrity, then types of integrity constraint, in that domain integrity constraint, then entity integrity constraint, referential integrity constraint, and we also discuss enterprise constraint, and we also discuss schema diagram. Hope so everyone understand this video. Thank you so much for watching this video.